Experiments by scientists around the world suddenly begin to show completely different results predicted by theories. The laws of physics have begun to work differently than what is known. Top scientists begin to stop their projects and even end their own lives. These deaths attract the attention of intelligence agencies due to their common details. Most of the people who died seem to have gone crazy at all. Wade, the head of British intelligence, assigns Detective Dashi to understand what is going on and gives him permission to use all resources for his investigation. Dashi soon learns that one of the group of physicists called the Oxford Five has committed suicide. He starts to follow them. Let's get to know them. Jin works in the field of multidimensional physics. Sol is working on one of the largest hadron collider moments. OG has a company that produces nanofiber materials. Will is a great physicist who teaches at the academy, and they also have a millionaire friend, Jack. He also chose to use his physics knowledge to produce snacks. One day, OG's eyes opened. He begins to see a countdown in front of him and thinks he is going crazy. Soon, a stranger named Tatiana tells him that the only way to stop the countdown is to shut down the science project at his company. She tells him to look. When midnight comes, OG and Sue are looking at the stars together. Suddenly, the entire universe begins to sparkle and wink. This is a Morse code that repeats the same countdown in OG's eye. The woman does not understand how these are related to each other, but out of desperation, she orders her employees to freeze the project. The countdown disappears at the same time. Jin goes to visit VG, the mother of his dead friends, and finds a strange cap among his belongings. VG lets Jin take the cap. When he puts the cap on, he finds himself in an incredibly detailed virtual reality. He can smell smells and even feel things he touches. The world in the game is constantly destroyed by different disasters, from incredible heat to extreme cold and much worse. Has learned to dehydrate himself against such disasters, and years later, when the chaos ends and the stable age comes, the survivors return to normal again. No one can predict these disasters. It is based on prediction. The task of the first level is to convince the local ruler that the cause of all problems is not some kind of magic but physics. After convincing the ruler, they move on to the second level. They understand that the planet in the game revolves around 3 suns. The reason for the disasters to occur is the chaotic movements of this planet. In the third level, the characters create a mathematical model of the movement of 3 bodies. Jin, a brilliant physicist, realizes that the 3-body problem is unsolvable and that the player's main duty is to save the people. With this understanding, they pass the third level, after which they are invited to a personal meeting with the organizers of the game. Meanwhile, they are invited to a personal meeting with the detective boss and the house of one of the deceased scientists. He says that they have found a title that is years ahead of the current technology. This title not only shows a picture and does not give a feeling of reality, but also reads all the information about the person using it. The detective thinks that someone is hiring the right people that they are looking for with this method. He interrogates A and asks why he closed his project. Even though OG thinks that the man will not believe him, the detective tells the story and shows a video from the night he talked to Tatiana. In the video, OG was sitting alone, but for some reason his cigarette lit up on its own even though no one was seen lighting it. The detective said that there was some kind of conspiracy and that the people responsible for it were not only deleting people from the videos but also projecting numbers onto their retinas and making the whole universe shine. And Jack go to a special meeting with the organizers of the game, where they meet Tatiana. Tatiana is very happy to understand the true purpose of the game, and move on to the 4th episode. She says that there are aliens living on a planet with 3 suns in the depths of space. The vanished civilizations that Jin and Jack see in the game are the story of this planet on their planet. For the alien race named Santi, who understand that sooner or later a disaster will destroy them completely, the only way to survive is to find another planet to live on. They made a deal. Tatiana is one of them. Now this sect of people is trying to find new collaborators. When they reach the world after 400 years, they want to destroy science to prevent people from resisting them. The sect of people is helping them in this regard. Jack is shocked by what he hears and leaves. But even though Tatiana does not say anything at that moment, she goes to her house in the evening and kills Jack because she knows too much, and as usual, she leaves no evidence thanks to Santi technology. China agreed to help the aliens, but after learning about Jack's death, she decided to become a spy of the intelligence. He will attend the big sect meeting to which he is invited as a spy and meet their leaders. Right now, to understand the story, we return to 1966 China, which is experiencing a cultural revolution. Many scientists, including the father of a bright student named Yenj, are executed for their scientific work. The girl is sent to a labor camp and given a short term because of her views. After a while, he is imprisoned. but because he is very smart, he is sent to a secret facility where he has to work until his death. The Chinese, who have built a powerful radio transmitter in this facility, are sending signals to space, hoping to communicate with another civilization. Even though years have passed, there is no answer. Yuji does something that no one has tried before. He uses it as a signal amplifier and receives a response from space. A representative of an alien civilization asks him not to send any more messages to their race. He says that he is the first person to receive the human signal, and if others find out about it, they will definitely try to take over the Earth. Yuji is disappointed in the humans and thinks that humanity's only chance for the future is now. He believes that he is being enslaved by a powerful race, so he sends another message into space, urging them to take over humanity. At one point, Yuji meets a man named Mike who is disillusioned with humanity. Years later, when the girl leaves China, they meet this man again. Mike has become incredibly rich, Yuji tells him. He talks about aliens who will come to Earth to save the planet. Thus, Mike spends his fortune to build a ship with a huge antenna and starts communicating with aliens. Mike, who communicates with aliens, is the person who organizes the sect that helps aliens. But one day, while Mike is telling the story of Little Red Riding Hood, the aliens suddenly realize a detail about humanity. People can lie. On the other hand, Sanya is not familiar with such a concept. They are shocked by what they hear, and they realize that they can no longer trust even the people who adore them, and they cut off all communication with them while this is happening. Jeannie is going to the big meeting of the sect as a spy of the intelligence. Of course, with the special ending, the old woman Genji is also here. Everyone in the meeting, including her, is arrested. The old woman thinks that if the aliens allowed them to be arrested, they must have a plan. Therefore, she does not mind sharing the information she thinks is unimportant, but he has a plan. While he is trying to get information about the aliens, he will also stop the cult members on the ship. The plan is to use a special rope created by Oji from a super strong material to come between the two shores of the channel. Thus, the ship will be cut into thin strips with all its inhabitants. People will not even have time to realize what is happening. He recovers a hard drive from the ship containing all the alien data and decrypts it. In fact, Styler allows them to decrypt it, because there is a file on the disk that they want to show. Wade and Jin put on virtual reality headsets, and Sani begins to tell them their story. He explains that the Earthlings are starting to fear humanity as they evolve incredibly fast. People are losing their technology to it. Even though the aliens started to build a fleet that would travel immediately when they received a signal from the world, there was also a big problem in communication. Since the distance was so great, it took years for the signal to reach, so they could take a proton and transfer it to a planet. They built a supercomputer with artificial intelligence on it by bringing it to size. 2 of them were sent to Earth, and their spouses stayed with them. This is how the aliens were able to intervene in the scientific research of physicists. Thanks to these, they became monitoring devices that could see and hear everything that was happening in the world. Thus, Stillers understand that they can no longer trust humans and that it will not be possible for them to live on the same planet. They announce that they are no longer on Earth to live together and that they have declared war on humans. Meanwhile, with the understanding that aliens will come to our planet after 400 years, the world is thrown into chaos. Governments begin to think about how to deal with the problem. During the season, the Oxford Quintet also has a group named Will. The story of the man is also shown. Will has been in love for a long time, but he cannot admit it to her. One day, he learns that he has cancer and only has a few months to live. After Jack's death, Will inherits $20 million. He decides to give a gift to the woman he is in love with. Phil makes a romantic gesture with this much money. Soon, Wade, the head of British intelligence, comes up with a bold plan. Sandy offers to send someone to meet his fleet. This person will have to sleep in the winter sleep capsule for 200 years and travel to space. According to the plan, aliens will want to examine this person, while this person will also want to study this person. He will try to send all the information he has about Sander to a human. Wade realizes that the aliens are aware of the plan, but he does not care, because in any case, he's sure that they will take their ship to examine this human. After a while, Wade will not be able to send the entire human body into space. They decide to send only his brain. The best candidate is Whittier, who has only a few days to live. He agrees, and his brain is sent to space, but something goes wrong. The capsule falls out of orbit, and the spaceship drifts into infinite space. Then Wade's boyfriend Raj, who is a soldier, immediately hires him. Then Raj asks to be transferred to the space fleet secretly built on the moon. Oji is still suffering from the fact that he was the one who killed hundreds of people on that ship. He decides to distance himself from his friends and goes to poor countries where he will use his technology to help ordinary people. Meanwhile, Wade lets him go because he does not see the new as a threat. The woman goes to the abandoned radio tower in China and meets Tatiana here. Tatiana says that the aliens have a new plan to destroy humanity. Even though we learn that Tatiana is not against this plan, we do not understand what Yenny is thinking. A few days later, one of the members of the Oxford Quintet, Soha, returns from the dead and is immediately brought to the detective, and it is understood that this is an assassination attempt by aliens. Sue, who is unaware of anything, is loaded onto a plane and taken to the United Nations meeting. At this meeting, the Wallfacer project is announced, hiding any information in the world while there are invisible perfect spies like Sopon. Therefore, it will be useful against them. It is impossible to create a strategy, but there is a place where aliens cannot enter the human brain. Aliens cannot know what people think. Project Wallfacer is exactly why it is created. With this project, 3 people will be given unlimited authority. These people will be able to demand all kinds of resources, and all their orders will be obeyed unconditionally. These 3 people have no duty to create a cunning strategy and keep it in their heads until the last moment. Sue is also chosen as the Wallfacer. He is shocked that he does not even know what to do. He says that he wants to give up the mission, but everyone agrees that this is the first step of his strategy and that he is included in the plan, so Sue leaves the building. He walks out and is shot with a sniper rifle by one of the followers of the cult, but he survives. After this, Sue falls into despair, but the detective assigned to protect him convinces him to take the mission seriously. Thus, we come to the end of the first season. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the like button. Thank you for watching.